Hey everyone! Today I'm filming a slightly different type of video. I thought it would be fun to vlog my upcoming sweater that I'm knitting and just document the process. So I'm planning on knitting the Olga sweater, or the Olga Pullover by Petite Knit, which is a pretty popular pattern, pretty popular designer. And I'm gonna knit that sweater, so I wanted to just bring you along the process from start to finish, except for I skipped filming step one. Okay, so here's the yarn that I have so far. Let me explain. The first step of me making the sweater was deciding that I was going to frog my moonflower pullover. If you watch episode 6 of my knitting podcast, I explained my thought process in a little bit more detail, but basically it was a sweater that I knit almost 2 years ago, and I've only worn once, so I thought that the yarn would have better use maybe being an Olga pullover. So I frogged that sweater, and then I wound it into balls, and then yesterday I wound them into hanks of yarn that I can soak. I'm basically just going to block this yarn the way that I block a sweater. So I'm going to soak it, bring the water out, and hang it to dry just to get rid of all of these kinks. I've seen some people steam their sweaters, which I think would be a cool thing to try. So maybe next time I do this, I will steam my yarn. But for now, I am going to block it. And just finally, before I move on to that, I did weigh how much yarn I have. So this is 423 grams of Wool of the Andes worsted in the color from Knit Picks. The color is Green Tea Heather. And then I do have one cake that has not been knit. That's like 40 grams. And then one full skein. So this is what the label looks like. And this is more than enough yarn that I'm going to need. I haven't decided what size I'm going to make, but this is more than enough yarn that I'm going to need, that I will not need to order more. My plan is, because this is a striped sweater, my plan is to have this be color A, and then color B is going to be an alternating, every other stripe is going to be different colors. So it's going to be green, and then a red stripe, green, pink stripe, green, yellow stripe. You'll see the vision. But this is going to be the main color of my Olga sweater. It is about 2 weeks later and the yarn is completely dry. It has been completely dry for about a week and a half. But now I'm gonna sit here and wind all of these hanks into balls, and then wind those balls into cakes. I have a Swift, but I'm going to just sit here and have the yarn around my knees because I wound these myself, so they're likely to get tangled. So just slow down the process a little bit, doing it by hand. And that's what I'm gonna do now. Just watch some TV and wind this into balls. And just like that, it's like my moonflower pullover didn't even exist. All the yarn is caked up and ready to knit. I just got some yarn in the mail and I wanted to show it because it's part of this project. But first I just wanted to show off I'm wearing my Oh Mary sweatshirt. I never wear it because I get worried that it's gonna get stained, but I'm wearing it today. But I just want to show off my yarn that I got in the mail. This is gonna be the contrasting color that goes against or opposite the Green Tea Heather, which is the main color of this sweater. And I also just wanted to try out because there was a few colors added to the line. This is all Knit Picks Wool of the Andes worsted. So I just wanted to also see what those colors looked like. So the first two I got are the new colors. This one's called Popcorn Butter, and yellow is my favorite color, and they haven't had a true yellow in this line, so this is nice. watermelon, and then seaweed, which now that I'm looking at it, I think it's gonna be too close to the green tea heather, but I have another idea for this for a different project. So seaweed, and then these two are my favorite from the line. I think they're in like almost all of the projects I knit with this yarn since these colors have come out. This one's Lady Slipper and Sweet Lavender, and I think they're so pretty. And I don't think I have any in my stash right now, so I had to restock on those. And in a little bit later in this video, we're going to dive into my stash and really pick out all the colors, but I just wanted to show what I got in the mail today. We've reached a really exciting part of this vlog, meaning I am starting the sweater. So I have my pattern here, Olga sweater by Petite Knit. I guess you can see this is what I am working with. And then I just cast on for the size medium, and she's referring to the colors as light color and dark color. So I'm gonna say that my alternating stripe, this is going to be every why is this so hard for me to explain? This is going to be one color, and then this color is going to change every stripe. I'm going to consider the one that's changing every stripe to be my dark color. This is going to be the light color. So yeah, I'm casting out for the size medium. I have my needles. I'm just going to see how far I get. I'll probably check back in the morning and show how far I've gotten on the back. I'm watching Hannah Einbinder's stand-up special. Let's get this sweater on the needles. Here it is. I have started the back of the sweater. I have done all the short rows, and now I'm just knitting stockinette for a little bit. I'm on the 6th stripe, so now you can kind of see, if you weren't able to tell by my description of what this stripe pattern was going to be, now you can tell what I'm doing. But I did change this main color is going to be what is considered the dark color, just because I thought that it would be a little bit more cohesive to have the repeating color be the shoulder seam. I don't know if it's going to matter in the end, but that is the decision I made. I'm going to keep going, and I'll show you later how far I get. Okay, I'm here with another update. I have finished. I'm cat sitting for my friend in DC. There's a cat right here. Hopefully she'll come onto the camera. But I'm just here to update with the Olga sweater. So the back is finished, and these are all the stripes that I have done. And I just finished both shoulders and attaching the front yoke, and right as I was attaching the front yoke, I finished my first ball of green yarn. So this is all of the green is just 50 grams so far. I think that's pretty good. And I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. The cat is trying to eat a stitch holder, and she has it in her mouth now. Wow, this isn't really a toy. Okay, this is a toy. But you have to come onto the camera. Yeah, I have all these stripes done, and now I'm just knitting stockinette the same. I just need to add this blue, purple, pink, and orange stripe, and then I will be attaching for the underarms. Oh, the thing is, the cat's like the needle stoppers a lot more than the yarn, I've noticed in the day that I've been here. Yeah, that's my update for my Olga sweater plus cat. And now the cat is hitting the camera, so this is the end of this update. This is Juna. Bye. Oh. here's the next update of my Olga sweater. I have connected for the body and I'm just knitting around and around. I have about 4 inches done, and I think I'm just knitting until it measures a certain amount from the back, and then I'm onto the hem. I just added this butter popcorn color, and I think next I'm gonna add lady slipper. And I'm trying not to focus on the colors too much. I'm just trying to pick and go, but I was like, are there too many like cutesy colors in a row? So I tried to break it up with the brown, but I think when it's all done, it's gonna just look more cohesive and I'm not gonna be focusing on certain sections. But for right now, I'm like, I don't know if I like the pink, orange, purple in a row, but yeah, this is it so far, and I will check back in when I'm at the hem. I've made it to the hem of my sweater and I am about to start the bind off, but I just wanted to check in with some stats before I did the bind off. The sweater, so I'm knitting the medium, and I don't remember if I said this, but the pattern is written for DK weight yarn and I'm knitting worsted weight yarn. So my measurements are probably going to be different, slightly different than what the pattern is, but I'm just sharing what I'm doing. In case you want to recreate this. So it's worsted weight, not DK. So these might be slightly different than if you're knitting with the suggested yarn. But so this is a size medium, and there's a total of 35 stripes on the body and 17 of the alternating colors, and then 18 of the green tea heather knit picks. Woolly Undies green tea heather. And yeah, so the same on the back, the same number of stripes, even though there's short rows, the front and back stripes line up. I do think when I get to the sleeves, I'm planning on knitting the sleeves so they match. Like there's not going to be new colors on the sleeves unless at the wrists, I might need to do a few more stripes if the arms are longer than the body of the sweater. So I do have a few extra colors that I have. So if that is necessary, then that's what I will do. But the other thing is that I measured one stripe before and after, and it was 9.4 grams. So if you're knitting worsted weight scrap version of the Olga sweater, you need approximately 10 grams per stripe for the body. And then I'm gonna figure that out for the sleeves, because I am pretty sure I'm going to run out of this color for the sleeves. So it's good to just know that ahead of time if you're playing yarn chicken or not, but that's okay. Yeah, so I am going to do the bind off and set a timer on my set a timer on my iPad and maybe set up like a time lapse to see how long it takes. And I'm going to be watching the newest episode of, I think the podcast is called The Downside with John Marco, and I'm going to be watching the most recent episode with Kayla Perrin. So you can put yourself in the mindset of me doing an Italian bind off while watching this podcast episode. That is what I'm going to be doing now. One last look at the sweater before I bind off and start the sleeves. Okay, this is the second take of this clip because the last one I did film in slow motion, so really kind of not able to understand anything I'm saying, But I am here with another update for my Olga sweater. I have finished a whole sleeve. The body is done. Italian bind up is done. The hem is flipping up a little bit, but that usually happens with her patterns for me, and then I block it and it's fine. Some notes on the sleeves is because I'm doing worsted weight, I did pick up the same amount of stitches as I'm supposed to for the size medium, and I think I maybe should have gone down like a few stitches, but because there's just this puckering a little bit, but I think it's going to block out and it's not enough that I would go back and change it. But I am planning in the near future to knit the Olga cardigan and also use the same yarns. So for future Nora, maybe pick up a little bit less stitches on the sleeves if you're knitting in worsted weight. But also for the sleeves, I decreased a little bit closer together just because I didn't want to surpass the length it was supposed to be. I'm actually not sure how long this is. I just tried it on and that's how I knew when to stop. I'm not sure how many inches this is. Maybe I'll update you on that later. But I think I did a few, I think I just kept decreasing. I think I was only supposed to do 9. And then this is a decrease too. So I did one more decrease than I was supposed to, but the sleeves are really wide, so I was just gonna keep going. And then I picked up the stitches for the next sleeve, and I'm going to the beach tomorrow, so hopefully I will be getting a lot of beach knitting done with my Olga sweater. I have some stats. Where's my little notebook? My little notebook's right here. Okay, so just some stats we're gonna check in is that I'm pretty sure I just started my 5th ball of the green tea yarn, and I've been pretty sure, like, even if I'm using frogged yarn, I've been picking yarn that is pretty much full skeins. So 5 skeins of Wool of the Andes worsted will get you a body and 1 sleeve of the Olga sweater for your main color. And so a total, none of the colors are repeated in this, so the total number of contrasting colors is 21. There are 17 contrasting colors on the body. It starts with this magenta on the shoulder and on the back of the neck, and then it ends with this maroon. And then the colors match on the sleeves. We start up here with this blue, and then we get to the maroon, and then there's a few more colors that go beyond the body. So there's a total of 12 colors on the sleeve, 17 on the body, 21 in total because some of them overlap. So yeah, if you want to recreate this version of the Olga sweater or a similar version where you are alternating one of the colors, those are the numbers that I'm using for the medium, with generally the proportions that are used in the pattern. And then for stripes, I measured a body stripe was 9.4 grams for worsted weight. And the sleeve, I think I did this brown one, it may have been the blue, but the sleeve relatively before decreases was 3.6 grams for a stripe. And I thought I was going to run out of this blue, but I am very grateful to Nora of the past. We're referencing Nora of the present, Nora of the past, Nora of the future are all part of this clip. Nora of the past saved like 1 gram of this blue yarn in a bag of scraps, and I think I'm gonna have enough for the sleeve because I'm almost done with this yarn, but that little scrap is gonna save me. So that's why you should always save your scraps no matter how small they are, and never let go of them, and just have bags of yarn in your house forever. I don't actually believe in that, but sometimes it is the practice I lead. Okay, that is the update for now. I probably will check in when all the knitting is done. Okay, we have reached the final part of my Olga sweater vlog because the sweater is done, blocked, ends are woven in, it's dry, and it is on my body. I'm really happy with how it came out. I just put a clip before this of me trying it on so you can see how it fits, but it's very cropped, wide sleeves. It has a very sweatshirt feel to it, which I like. I noticed this from other people's patterns, but I like how my t-shirt pops out of the top. Yeah, and I'm really happy with how it came out. I think all of the colors will blend together really nice, which I was worried about my eyes focusing on a certain part of the sweater, and now that the sleeves are on, I don't feel like that at all. And I have a lot of this yarn left. Let's see. This took 6 falls. I was like probably halfway through the 6th fall when I did the collar. Oh, the collar is folded over, and there's some slip stitch rows, which makes the fold really nice. And then you knit and bind off and kind of attach this all in one step, which is really nice because I've only ever sewn rolled collars like this. And I thought this technique was a lot easier to make it not twisted, because sometimes when I sew collars, I feel like my ribbing is a little bit diagonal, and I really like this technique, so that was fun. Also, I usually take my stuffed animals off of this couch when I film a podcast, but I didn't do that for this episode, and this is one of my several ET stuffed animals. Okay, this is how much yarn I have left. This sweater took 6 balls of this green yarn, probably like 5.5 actually. I've had partial skein left of this, so if you want to make a sweater like this, you will need 6 of each color. It has now started downpouring, so there's a little bit of ambiance in the background of this now, but this is all the yarn I have left from my moonflower pullover. You'll see this in other projects because I have so much of it. I probably have 1, 2, 3, I would say these are all full skeins, plus this obviously is a full skein, and then some partial skeins, so quite a bit left. Yeah, so thank you for following along the Olga journey. I do have plans to make not 1 but 2 Olga cardigans in the near future, so stay tuned for that. But I really like this pattern, and let me know if you're gonna knit it, especially if you're gonna knit it with fun stripes like this. Bye!